Good morning, everyone. Oh, man, today is Thursday, which is, my favorite day of the week, getting to hang out with all of you. But it is also my favorite day of the year. I don't know if you guys know me from my own personal business, but if you do, I am a huge Halloween person. And I'm not going to lie, I almost showed up with this on my face, but I didn't want to freak you guys out too much. Look how creepy that looks, by the way, when I'm like, where's it at? Look at the black eyes when I have it with that background of the TV. So I decided against that today, but I did go ahead and sport it a little bit. Okay. So I've got my Oogie Boogie hat. I am a huge Disney fan as well. I actually have a Disney tattoo right here. So, like, I am a diehard Disney fan, but I also love spooky season. So, I got a kind of a combo of the two. I also have my Friends in Low Places shirt going on that I actually got from Etsy. So I am very excited about today. Again, today is my favorite day of the year. Today is my favorite day of the week, hanging out with you guys. And you, more than likely, if you saw the title for today's live, it was, I don't even remember what it was called, but it was something about like spooky good marketing plan for Q4 or anything else in general for Etsy, right? Well, I kind of tricked you guys because it's Halloween. So we're tricking, we're treating, and hopefully you guys are going to leave with a buttload of treats from this live. Okay. So what we are actually going to be doing, so not like don't hop off. It's very important stuff. But what we're actually going to be doing is creating scary good listings that are perfectly optimized within Etsy from scratch. So I'm going to be going through my 7-step process. More than likely, you guys have never heard the things that I'm going to say because I know I haven't said them. They are like what I use in my own personal business all the time. And I want to basically gift them to you guys on, again, my favorite day of the year. Someone said they're so scared. You should be so happy. I am very excited about it. I hope you guys are too. Before we get going, as always, if you are brand new here, hi, love you, mean it. Thank you so much for being here. If you have been here with me every week for the past 8 months, I love you even more. Thank you guys so much for coming every single week and hanging out with me here. If you have any questions along the way, we're going to go over 7 in-depth, very specific, high-level informational steps, if you will. So if you are like, how the heck did you get there? Let me know. Drop it in the comments. And if you are watching the replay of this video, drop that in the comments of this video too, and I will respond back to you accordingly. Again, that is me, guys. So feel free, if you have any questions, drop them in the live chat or drop them in the comments, and I got you. All right. With that said, as always, got to do a little shameless plug before we get started. If you wouldn't mind hitting that like button right below where you're watching this video, go ahead and give this a thumbs up. I want to be able to help as many people as physically possible grow their own online businesses. So please give me one of those real quick. And if you are brand new to this live stream, I do this every single Thursday. There are some days that we take off just because of the holiday seasons and stuff like that. But go ahead, get a like, give me a subscribe if you want to join these lives every Thursday, and make sure you have that notification bell on so you don't miss when we do. Okay. With that said, we're going to go ahead and dive right in. I am really stoked about today. Let me go ahead and share my screen. So, like I said, it was a little bit of a trick, but also a treat that we are going to be diving into like an internal marketing plan for Etsy. So, you guys might have seen this and been like, oh, we're learning about social media, we're learning about email marketing, because I do talk about those things a lot. And they are very important. And I do recommend you go watch all the other videos that we talked about. But before you can ever do social media marketing or email marketing or Etsy ad strategy for your business, you have to have optimized listings first. So we are going to walk through, again, my 7-step plan in order to do this for your own listings. And you can literally apply this today, whether you go to unperforming listings or lower performing listings that you already have and apply this strategy, or you start from scratch. When we get off this live, you can literally apply all of these things immediately today. All right, so let's go ahead and get right into it. So the first thing, which you're probably not surprised about if you've been on any live of mine or watched any video of mine, I am a very big data-driven analytically based seller, analytically based online business owner. I was taught back in, I want to say like 2012, from a mentor that numbers tell a story. And I will never forget that statement. I know it's so small and it seems so minuscule, but numbers really do tell a story in every single piece of your business. What about going back to email marketing, for example? The open rate that you receive is more than likely based on, first of all, is your list even good? Is it good people who want to learn from you, receive from you, buy from you, whatever? Number two, is the content that you're sending out in your emails even related to that group of people? And number three, how was your subject line? Those three things are going to make or break your open rate. So if I'm seeing a high open rate with somebody, I'm like, oh, they're doing something right. Those numbers are telling me a story. Let's follow that story and apply it to other things. If I see low open rates on someone's emails, I'm like, oh, that's also telling a story. Let's follow that trail of breadcrumbs and figure out how we can fix this going forward. So, with that knowledge of who I am as a human and who I am as an online business owner and seller, we are going to start with research. So what I did, I went ahead and actually did this in the background before we got on today, but I tried to take as many screenshots as possible, is I kind of did what I assume someone might be doing right now. And I went super broad because I want to be able to apply to everybody, whether you're a print-on-demand seller, handmade, digital, I don't care. I don't care what products you're doing. We are trying to get as broad as possible today so I can help as many people as possible, right? So what I did first and foremost was I used the keyword research tool in EverBee to like do a long tail kind of, it's like 3 words, but kind of do like a key phrase that is very broad. In this particular case, I did gift for her. I'm going to zoom in a little bit so you guys can see a little bit more. So when I was in the keyword research tool in EverBee typing this in, I started by filtering my keyword score, and then I began to look for phrases or words that I could dive a little bit deeper into, with my goal being looking for underserved, in demand niches, products, whatever it is. Okay. So I'm actually going to see if I can share my screen in real time on exactly how to do this. So instead of just showing you guys the screenshots, I want to actually take you guys through this really quickly. So let me see if it'll let me share the other screen. Y'all, if y'all have been here before, y'all know I don't know how to use technology. Hey, we're there. Okay. All right. So what we're going to do is you can type it in up here if you'd like. So let's just say gift for her as example. And as long as you have the EverBee extension, whether you're on Microsoft Edge or Chrome, doesn't matter to me. This is Microsoft Edge that I'm on. As long as you have that, you'll start to see these things come up. So what's cool is I'm already starting my research on a good playing field, because I'm seeing that obviously gift for her is being searched lots of times, almost 20,000 times. But I also am seeing something that I would have never found had it not been for typing this into the Etsy search bar. Gift for her, birthday unique. That's interesting. So I'm going to put that in my brain bank. I'm going to put that maybe on a spreadsheet just right now in the early stages of research. That might be something to dive into. But with the EverBee extension, we can click on this little button right here to click see more. I hope you guys can still see more. You can see what I'm doing. And that is going to take us to our keyword research tool. That is going to basically be what we looked for to begin with, and all of the different things that are going to come up under it. That is one way to go about this. The other way is to straight up just come over to the left-hand side, click keyword research instead, and then start from there. Exact same thing, completely up to you guys, right? The only thing that you will miss by doing this option is to see those little worker bees get to work in the Etsy search bar. That's it, right? Then what I'm doing is I'm seeing, first of all, gift for her. Yeah, there's a huge search volume, but there's also like 8 million people who are competing for that space. So I don't want to necessarily just think of gift for her, right? I want to think of like who is her, first of all, because that's going to be my target audience, and or that's going to be my target audience that are going to be bought for. So maybe gift for her is from a boyfriend, from a fiance, from a wife, whatever it is, right? So if we have that, what can we do in this space that is going to be in demand still, but is going to be potentially underserved. Okay. So basically, what I mean by that is this number comes down significantly, right? Okay. So with that said, I'm going to share the other tab and hope my buttons work. Yes, they do. So what I did was I basically, as you could see, I have this here, just like what we saw. I started to go through keyword score. So in order to do that, I will share this tab again. This is so fun now that I know where buttons are. All I had to do was literally click this little arrow twice to get the keyword score up to the top. One little thing I want to say here, though, and I'm going to say it probably 2 or 3 more times in this because it's so applicable to the different steps that we're going to be doing. There's a lot of people that spell things wrong. There's a lot of people that don't know how to use grammar. There's a lot of people who don't know how to put a conjunction or how to put a space in between compound words, whatever it is. So we kind of have to take the keyword score and the keyword research tool with a lot of grains of salt. Okay. But what I'm doing while I'm in here, so if you see like gift dash for dash her dash travel, of course it's going to have a giant keyword score because a keyword score in EverBee is this number related to this number times 1,000. So obviously that number is going to be super huge. However, I don't want you to use this and put it in your tags or put it in your title or anything like that. What I want you to do instead is go through this list to be able to, again, find those potentially underserved niches that we want to do a little bit more research on. Okay. So with that said, let me go back to share my other tab here. What I found while I was doing a little searching of my own, I was doing this, everything I'm telling you guys, I was doing this morning in the background, right? What I found, which made me happy because you can't see her, but my cat is right here. She's sleeping. You might hear her snoring because she snores really loud, but I am a cat lover. I love, love, love cats. And it's really easy for me. It's really passionate for me to like create in that space because I love animals. So when I saw cat gift for her had 1,700, give or take, as the volume, and again, only had 22 as the competition because there were hyphens, that still triggered my brain to be like, that might be a place to go where the cat niche, whatever you guys want to call it. Y'all know if you've been here for a minute, I say that word wrong in America, I guess. But the cat niche is probably going to be super competitive, right? But what can we do knowing that this is a space that is in demand? What can we do to go down a little further? Okay. So with that said, let's move on to the next one. So what I do from there is, okay, I take the idea that I found, which was cat lover gifts, and I started at gift for her. And then I went down to cat lover gifts, and now I'm in pet lover gifts. So I kind of was like, let me get a little bit more broad because cat could be super competitive, but people might have underserved pet niches. And I'm going to tell you a couple of those in a second that I found. Okay. So what I personally like to do is I will type that back in to the Etsy search bar, and then I will start to dive a little bit deeper into what kind of products, what kind of design styles, what kind of mock-ups, etc., are the people who are making the most money doing. So let's do this again together right now. Let's go ahead and share this tab. Man, they make it so easy when it's just one click of a button. And I never knew this until like 2 weeks ago. So it's so much easier to show you guys in real time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say pet, I think it was pet lover gifts. Is that what I did? Yes. Okay. So pet lover gifts. By doing this, not only am I going to theoretically have something pull up, let me refresh, because sometimes this does happen where Etsy gets mad at me when I'm typing so many things at once. Peculiar. For some reason, this is not working for me, but it's fine. I'm going to go ahead and just search it. Usually, I should have my little worker bees get to work. For some reason, I don't want to waste you guys' time. I'm not going to try to like fix that bug right now, but I am going to click that. But what I'm not going to do is just start scrolling through this. What I'm going to do instead is come over to, again, my EverBee extension, and I'm going to click on product analytics this time. Before we did keyword research. And usually, ironically, people will do those backwards. And that's also totally fine. You can start with product analytics and then build your keyword strategy if you'd like. That's just not the way I personally do it because I was trying to find an underserved niche first. So less so product type, less so shirts for women, more so who are those women? What kind of design styles do they like? And that's what I was using the keyword research tool first instead of product analytics, but you can do it both ways if you want. In this case, I'm going to go ahead and click to the product analytics dashboard here. And what's going to come up, excuse me, what's going to come up, as you can see here, is 70 listings. So that's basically the original search page of Etsy. There are 70 listings to look through, and that's what EverBee is doing for us. However, you can also see search entire database, which means there are a lot more to choose from. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that button to get the highest number of search results possible. Once I do that, you can see we went to 329, 759. All right. From there, what I like to do, which again, I will share this tab instead so you can see my steps. I also want to apply the filters that I want to be able to get down to the most important information in one location. Okay, so what I don't want to do is go through 359,000 listings. Even if only 5,000 of them were making money, that's still 5,000 listings that I got to go through. So what I personally like to do, I'm going to share this tab again instead. There we go. What I personally like to do, and you can play with this however you want. You can do literally all of the filters. You could do one of the filters. It's completely up to you. But the ones that I really, really like to play with are click filters. I like to go to listing age, and I want to have a maximum of 3 because I want to have all of the listings that have done well and performed well over the past 90 days. I need to know what is doing well right now, what is getting favorites, what is getting sales immediately over the past 90 days. So it didn't have a lot of time, too much time to gain traction. They hit the ground running. They obviously did something right in their research. So I'm going to look at those. Okay. The other thing I like to do is favorites. And this is something that not a lot of people do. They mostly will go to sales, but I actually kind of like to look at the favorites because some people, like, even if it's not selling or not selling, but even if it's selling a little bit lower than others, if it's getting favorites, that means something is still being done right. And that means that people could come back and buy it at a different time. So I'm going to go ahead and put a minimum of 30 favorites and a maximum of 3 months of a listing age. Okay. Once I do that, you can see that our 359,000 has now gone down to 759. But even with those two filters, look at these stinking numbers, guys. I mean, like, that's life-changing money. What's 1 month of that could be like half of someone's salary. Life-changing freaking money. So now let me go back to the other one. So I'm going to accidentally push the wrong button in a second. So now that I have that list, I want to go through that list and I want to figure out, like, what is selling in this space. So if we were to have, and you totally can, let's say you are a t-shirt shop only. You could literally type in shirts for her, shirts for women, shirts for men, shirts for dad, whatever you wanted to do in the search bar. But by doing gift for her, gift for him, gift for best friend, etc., it is allowing me to think outside of my brain box and think of additional product types that I might have never thought of, and also potentially niches and design aesthetics that I never would have thought of. Okay. So what I do is I figure out, of the list of things that I'm seeing in the, like, the ones that we just saw that were making a, buttload of money, which one of those am I interested in diving into a little bit more? Which ones are product types that I could possibly get into that maybe I'm not, or maybe I already am in this product type space, but this design aesthetic is doing well on that product and I never even thought about it. Okay. That's what we're going to do next. So I like to go through that list, filter out by, again, whatever you want to filter by. Those are just the ones that I personally do. And then start highlighting when I'm seeing a pattern. Okay. So here's a pattern that I saw. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. Here we go. Here we go. All right. So here are patterns that I saw when I typed in pet lover gifts. Again, that in itself is pretty broad. That's not niched down yet, but we are niching down by doing that search and finding patterns and potential gaps in the market. Okay. Stick with me. I promise we're getting somewhere. So when we did this, or when I did this, you weren't there. We're doing it together now. I found, as you can see, 1, 2, 3, well, there's only 3 here, but there was like 7 stained glass pet items. And if you guys have ever been on a Q4 live stream with me over the past couple of weeks, you know that I made over $10,000 last November and December because I did stained glass ornaments. Now, they weren't pet specific, they were more like Christmas, holiday themed, whatever. But I know already in my brain bank from last year that stained glass does well over and over and over again, like pretty much consistently every single holiday season. So it makes so much sense that personalized during the holidays, huge winner. Pet lovers or gifts for pet lovers, huge winner. And stained glass, huge winner. So how can I find a way to pair those 3 things? And also number 4, ornaments, huge winner, obviously. How can I find a way to pair those few things based on my research that I have done to build the best thing? All right, before I keep going, I see you guys have a couple of questions, comments, whatever. I'm going to go address those real fast before we get into step 3. Now that we've done our research, we're still going to keep doing research, by the way. But now that we've done step 1, research, step 2, product type, now we're going to get into design. But before I do that, let me address your questions and comments first. All right. So someone said, is there any chance we can get this presentation? Because I'm not sure I can write this fast. Yes. If you are in our Facebook group, I think it's called EverBee Etsy seller, some members or something like that. Sorry if I'm saying it wrong. If you're in that, I will pop that in there in our Facebook group. And I think I can. I don't see why not. I could probably also pop this in the description of this YouTube video. So when we get off, I will upload this link to the Google PDF in there. Okay. Yes. Someone said you could just watch the video again. Fair, totally fair. But we're going to talk for about an hour today, so I want to make sure Christy's time is used appropriately. Let's see. Someone said, been wondering about this. I know Etsy doesn't want us to misspell or use improper grammar, but if almost 3,800 people are misspelling something, could that be a missed market? Nope, you are not missing anything if you are going into that market. It would be a missed market if you just saw that it was spelled wrong and then kept going with your research and didn't do the extra due diligence to find the correctly spelled words. Because if 3,800 people are looking for that, incorrectly spelled word or grammatically incorrect, whatever, that means that that niche, that product type, that design style, that target audience is in demand. That is trending. So we just need to go down that rabbit hole, basically like I did together today. You're going to go down that rabbit hole yourself when you see those misspelled words, okay? Someone said, if you're very new, do you recommend running ads if you're not getting sales? No, I do not, unless you do all 7 of these things on every single one of your listings. I do not want you to put any money towards any ads unless you fully optimize your listings that you will be putting money behind, okay? Stained glass sounds hard to achieve without experience, along with custom pet portraits. Is that true or not? What I'm really excited about is that's a perfect segue into the design space, because I was able to make my own designs for this within a couple of seconds. I'm going to show you how. All right, so let's get into design now. So now that we know that stained glass is trending and pet lovers is trending, start creating some unique designs around it. So Jeremy brought up a good point. Isn't it kind of hard to do stained glass from scratch, especially if we are trying to do personalized stuff? Technically, yes. If you are trying to take a photo portrait of a dog, cat, whatever, from someone and turn it into something else, you do have to have a little bit of graphic design experience to do so. There are multiple ways. You can look it up on YouTube and figure out exactly how to do that. And that will set you, I'm sorry, I have a hair on this mic and it is itching my nose. That is going to set you apart from all of the other people that do not know how to do it. I'm not going to teach you guys that today. Look it up yourself. That's for your own business. But what I am going to show you is, if you have a Canva account, you have the ability to do what's called the magic media, like AI generation of an image generation on Canva. So you can see when I talk about ChatGPT with you guys, I always talk about how important the prompt is. So ChatGPT, Claude AI, Bing AI, whatever that's called, Genesis, I think. something like that. And obviously Canva, the prompt is really, really important because you have to give the AI what it needs to be able to give you what you want. However, look what I did. Stained glass cat, image in the shape of a circle. I was going like really fast through this today because I wanted to get, the document built for you guys. That's all I did. I didn't even like, I literally didn't even do a prompt. I was just like, I would like a stained glass cat in a circle. Can you do that for me, Canva? And this is what it popped out. 4 different things that I actually think this is adorable. I love black cat, so that one's kind of cool. This one's giving Siamese vibes a little bit. Also kind of looks like it has 2 tails, which I thought was weird, but nonetheless, there are multiple ways that you could go about this. This one right here, I didn't copy it over, but this one's like a tabby kind of cat. So yes, if you want to learn how to turn a photo of an animal or anything else for that matter into a graphic, you're going to need to do some research for your own brand to do that. But you could also just use AI with very particular prompts that are going to build it for you. So literally within a couple seconds, I was able to build these. Then we want to go a step further and find other in-demand niches that you might be able to apply that aesthetic to. So we know that we already have cats, pet lovers, gifts for pet lovers, ornaments, stained glass. We know that those things are doing well from our research, right? So then what else can we do to apply those 5 things to maybe even more niches or even more potential for sales? Okay, so quick example, by just doing a little bit more research, is personalized loss of dog stained glass sun catcher. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. I know it's a little blurry. So I got into a space where I was like, oh, I didn't even think about that. Not only does someone want to have their animal shown on their tree, the animal that they love, my cat that's snoring over there, not only do I want to have Lena on my tree to celebrate her, but I also want to have Norman, who is my Jack Russell Terrier that he passed away in 2020. 2020 was not a good year for me. My wedding got canceled and my dog died. Wasn't a great time. It wasn't a great time for any of us that year, right? So knowing that I also love and miss Norman every single day, I would 100% buy a watercolor ornament for my current husky Lily, for my current cat Lena, and also my dog that passed away as a memorial gift with his face on it, or even just like a Jack Russell Terrier built from AI. Again, whatever your graphic abilities allow you to do, or go watch YouTube tutorials to figure out exactly how to do that. So that was one other niche that still was doing well in the stained glass aesthetic, which I thought was really cool. Another one that I saw was golden doodles. That is a very, I think I actually have a picture of it. We'll scroll down in a second. But golden doodles were actually super underserved. And I was surprised because golden doodles are like very, very popular breeds. If you don't know what that is, it's this doggy right here. So golden doodles, I think, had a competition of 15,000, like the phrase golden doodle. And I was very, very surprised to find that. So I'm like, all right, let's make one of those too. And the good news is this might not look exactly like Shiloh or Sparky or James if you're like me and like to name your animals after male figures. But it's still, it's definitely a golden doodle. And all I did was type in the exact same thing here, but instead of cat, I replaced it with golden doodle. Very, very simple. And then from there, I was like, all right, what else? What other niches? What other pets? Let's get into the exotic space. Are there any exotic pets that I might be missing? Because, of course, we all know cats and dogs. We maybe know rabbits. We maybe know cockatoos, like those things you see pretty frequently from people. But what else? Who else loves their pets, and what kind of pets do they love? So I just started typing in random things into ChatGPT, to be honest, to find ones that had high search volume, low competition, and I found bearded dragon. I used to have a bearded dragon, and I thought it was like, oh my God, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And then all we have to do, let's say you're a print on demand seller, all I got to do is take this AI generated image that I built, copy and paste it over, and or move it over however Canva lets you do it into my document, remove the background, literally upload this image in high resolution based on your POD provider's parameters onto an ornament, get it printed. Like that's literally it. And it's only because I did the research first and thought about aesthetics, keywords, product types, design features. I thought of all of those things in the beginning stages where I'm pretty much guaranteed to make at least a couple sales on these things because I am talking to a person or a multitude of people who really, really, really love these two things. Okay. Hope that makes sense. I'm going to hit let's scroll up a little bit. I'm going to hit the questions again real fast. I see a couple of you in here. So someone said, thank you, in all caps. You're welcome. All right. When you're doing keyword searching, can you filter by the keyword score by a max of 1,000 to 2,000 to filter out a large amount of the misspellings? That is a fantastic question. Let's figure that out together because I do not know the answer to that question, but we're going to do it. Let's see. So let's just do pet lover gifts again. Make it easier on me. I think the answer is no, but I want to confirm. Let's just see. Let's see. Actually, the answer might be yes. I am underestimating the power of EverBee right now. All right, so let's click. I have two ways that this might be able to work, okay? The first way is clicking filters and doing this. So let's say we want to, I don't think it's going to work. So what I'm trying to do, by the way, and we're literally doing this together, what I was trying to do was almost an include exclude so that we could include only 1,000 and exclude 500,000. It doesn't seem to be an opportunity, but what we can do is, let's say 1,000 to 2,000. I don't know if this is going to work. We're going to try it. It was mad at me. But the good news is it kind of worked. It's not a long list by any means. Obviously, as you can see that it is only one page. But I am already finding some things that I wouldn't have thought of to begin with. Let's get through it, okay? Personalized pet lover gift. We already know that, obviously. But I'm seeing French bulldog, and I'm seeing custom black and white, and I'm also seeing personalized floor mats. So those are things that had I not done the max min on the keyword score, I wouldn't have seen those. It would have taken me ages to find those. So that might be an option. And we literally just figured that out together. So I hope that helps. Someone also said, what kind? Oh, perfect. Jeremy said, Dreamlab also builds these AI generated things as well. So you could obviously go into Dreamlab. You could go to Midjourney. You can actually ask Dolly AI, which is the image generator in ChatGPT, or they're at least partnered together. Lots of different ways to do this. I just did Canva really quickly because I had to make this document for you guys. But yes, definitely try that. Someone said, what kind of ornament is the stained glass being printed on? That's a good question. It depends on what you're making, of course. Stained glass, in my opinion, and probably everybody else's opinion, should be able to twinkle in some sun, right? It's a sun catcher. So what I did last year is I did an A/B testing of two things. One was a glass ornament that allowed the sun to kind of come through, and then I just basically printed it on both sides. The other one was actually just a ceramic ornament, and that one, ironically, I was very surprised, sold more. So a ceramic ornament there's no sun coming through. So these people that bought that gave me tons of 5-star reviews, were just wanting the stained glass aesthetic. They didn't need the stained glass see-through thing, if that makes sense. But both of those are viable options. Someone said, if we don't have a niche, but we want to be in one or two, how can I look for a profitable one? Marianella, I would, if you have not seen the 33 minutes that we've been talking, I would rewatch that because that's exactly what I'm doing right now, is showing you how to find the profitable niche if you're not already in one. So feel free to restart this video, and also I will give you access to this document as well. Okay. All right, let's go back to this guy. Yep. All right. So now we're going to get into SEO. So now that we have a space that we want to be in because of the research we've done, we have a product type we want to do. And now we have a couple of different niches or target audiences that we want to be in. Now we can get into the SEO space. So one quick thing I want to show you is, as it relates to SEO, when you're thinking about like how to actually do this and what SEO you should use and why that's even important in the first place. By the way, if you're brand new to my channel, SEO stands for search engine optimization. So we're optimizing our listings already, but if we're not utilizing the types of keywords or long tail key phrases that our ideal buyers are typing into search, they're never going to find us. So no matter how dope your bearded dragon ornament is, if you're not using the right things, they might never be able to see that. And that would make me sad. So we're going to learn how to do that instead. Order velocity is something that a lot of people do not think about. They don't probably even know what it is, to be honest. But most, if you do know what it is, you might not be thinking about this as the reason why we want to have certain pricing strategies, certain thumbnail strategies, certain SEO strategies, etc. Basically, order velocity means, quite literally, like, you think about velocity, like how fast something is going, right? And then order, how fast orders are going, right? That's the whole goal of this. Is you should be in your space that you have chosen. The goal is to be faster than everybody else. So when I go to what was the thing? Stained glass pet ornament, we are seeing the top seller based on my filters. So again, my filters were a minimum of 30 favorites, a maximum of 90 days of age of the listing. I am seeing that 190, give or take, is the number to beat on a monthly basis. And as you can see, I don't think that that is too far off to catch, because all of these people, like the top 3 of them, were built within less than 60 days ago, and 2 of them were built less than 30 days ago. So it definitely can be done by doing the right strategy, which is obviously what we are going through today. Okay, so when you are thinking about building your listings, when you are thinking about your SEO strategy, your design strategy, your target audience, your niche research, your blah blah blah, I want you to also consider order velocity, which might not have been something that you had ever thought about before this. I want to know if that's the case. If you guys have never heard of order velocity, and or you have heard of it but you're not necessarily applying the strategy to your Etsy shop, type OV in the comments for me, because I might be interested in making an entire training just about that. So let me know if that's like something you're interested in and like wanting to deep dive a little further. Feel free to let me know. So when we are getting into SEO, there are a couple of different pieces of it. Etsy tells us it's titles, tags, categories, attributions. But I also know that there are multiple other things that can be done for SEO, like alt tags that are on your photos, like the photos itself. Like, even though that is not a search query or a search term, it really, really impacts people on their click through decision to your listing if your thumbnail is not good, if your pricing strategy is not good. So we're going to go through all of those, but Etsy considers titles, tags, categories, and attributes to be the 4 main places for SEO. Okay. When we're thinking of titles, we want to kind of think broad first, kind of like what your customer should be typing in. And by the way, that's exactly what we did together today. We started with gift for her, then we got down to gift for pet lover, then we got down to stained glass ornament pets, right? So you're going to follow the same trail that your buyer's going to follow. Okay, so just think about that. People usually type in something a little broad first, then maybe they do 1 to 2 additional searches that are a little bit more niche down based on what they found in the gift for her. It is very, very rare. I could be wrong here. Please do not quote me. Nothing I say on here is Bible. It is very rare, however, in my opinion, I'm just going to say that, IMO, that someone will buy something from the gift for her search. I could be wrong. Please correct me if I'm wrong. Please debunk me. But I'm 99% sure that unless they find something that's so dope and matches the exact person they're buying for within that search, it is very, very rare that they are going to make a purchase right then and there. What they're going to do instead is go through the gift for her, just like we did. And then they're going to be like, oh, I didn't even think about that. It's Christmas. My sister just got engaged. Let me look up first engaged ornaments. And then I go down my second rabbit hole as a buyer, as a searcher, as a shopper. And then I'm like, maybe she doesn't want an ornament. Maybe she wants something that they can use for all time. It's already October. I don't want her to just use it once. What if I got them a photo frame instead? That's my third one. That's what I landed on. That's what I bought. Okay. So we got to think like a buyer. And by doing the research first, we're already thinking like them, because we're already going through that same type of journey that they are, where they're going broad and then niching down, right? I also want you to understand that the first 40 characters of your title are the most important. So we want to make them specific. We don't want broad here. We want that to be niched, and then we can follow up with broad. So it's a little bit backwards. We're going to start broad, go down to niche on searching, research. Then we're going to start niche, go down broad on the title. Okay. So here's an example. So this is my friend Shiloh that I made today. And as you can see, I decided to make it personalized by simply using a Canva font and putting his name. So personalized golden doodle stained glass ornament. Perfect. Dog sun catcher window hanging with name, because again, people like personalized, customized. And then I was like, okay, well, I also know from my research that people were also doing memorial stuff. So I put loss of pet, Christmas gift, pet lover gift. And at any time, like I said, guys, I literally made this up this morning. So I haven't tested this. I'm not going to lie. I have not put this out there in the universe to see if anybody wants to buy it. But this is the exact strategy that I use anytime one of my clients wants to launch a new listing. Okay. The other one we can do is my little cat here. Same concept, but we're going to switch some stuff up based on, again, what I know that person is typing in. Black cat, tabby cat, Siamese cat, etc. So black cat, stained glass ornament, housewarming gift for cat lover. That was me being smart about not only who is this going to, but what are they going to use it for. This person in my brain might be not only someone experiencing the holidays, not only someone who loves cats, not only someone who loves black cats, but also maybe someone who just bought a new home or who just moved into a new apartment. Then I've got Christmas gift for cat mom, and then portrait from photo. In this particular case, I'm not actually doing a portrait from photo, but if I was, that is highly, highly searched on Etsy right now. So again, if you can figure it out, go on YouTube, get those graphic design tutorials, use Adobe Illustrator, use Photoshop, like whatever you're going to use, your own platform to make that happen. This is being looked up multiple thousands, tens of thousands of times on Etsy right now. So I wanted to make sure that was in there, again, assuming that I was actually doing that in the listing itself. All right. Then some examples of tags that we could use for the exact same thing. So we went over titles. The first 40 characters are most important, and you want to basically speak to a human as well as a search engine, and don't do a lot of keyword stuffing. Talk to who the person is, who the person could gift it to, what that person might be experiencing, and then what the item is itself, the features of the item. Okay. Then we get into tags. Etsy encourages that we do all 13 tags. So if you guys are only doing a handful, not that you're going to miss out by any means. I've seen some things that like the design is so good and so on trend, and their SEO is so crappy, and they're making tens of thousands of dollars in sales. So it doesn't have to be perfect in the SEO, but if you have 13 valuable pieces of real estate that you could try to get found in search faster, might as well do it. Here's some examples of what that could be. So obviously we have like the pet memorial space, we have the custom dog, we have stained glass, we have pet ornament, etc. But we also have things like golden doodle. Like I said, the competition was a lot lower than I would have ever imagined for that particular breed. We also have, again, they're spelled wrong, but this is telling me that golden doodle mom gift is being looked up. Golden doodle gift, decor, and wall art. Those things are actively being looked up by people, even if they're spelled wrong. So maybe we can add those into our strategy. All right. And then an extra life hack. I told you guys were going to get some freaking treats today, right? You're not just going to get tricked that we were talking about something totally different than I said we were going to. You're also going to get some treats that most people are not knowing, they're not using. And I want you guys to use these. If you go to any listing and you scroll down to the bottom of the listing, so you go past all the reviews, you're going to find a thing called related searches. And this is Etsy literally giving us tags and literally giving us titles that we could build. So I'm going to show you really quickly exactly where to find that. Hopefully we are on the right. Yep, we are. Beautiful. So let's go and just choose. Let's choose this because I think these are adorable and I want one. So we're going to come here. No matter what you're on, does not matter to me. Once you're doing your research, you're going through any of these individual listings. Just to let you guys know, this is not an EverBee thing. This is an Etsy thing. So even if you're not on the EverBee platform, which again, highly recommend that you do. But even if you're not, you can literally scroll all the way down here and you're going to get related searches and more related searches. So if this is something that you are not using to your advantage, highly, highly recommend that you do. And then the second piece that I will put is also down here, as well as we up here, you'll be able to see the categories that someone has gone super deep into, whether it be the very top or the very bottom of the listing. Someone in this particular case, for example, could have gone all the way to drink and barware and then drinkware, and they could have stopped. And that could have cost them sales because mugs as a category is also an SEO opportunity. Etsy directly tells us that. Okay. So not only are we going to utilize the things that they're already telling us are doing well, or like someone, when we think of related searches, by the way, it's like someone typed in this word, this key phrase, and then they typed in this, and then they typed in that. That's literally Etsy telling us exactly what that person did, what that group of people's buyer journey or research journey was. If you're not using these, at least give them a chance and see if there's something that you might want to add into your strategy. And then also do not sleep on the category strategy as well. All right. All right, let's get back over here real fast. I only got a couple more minutes, so I want to make sure I can get through all of these, and then I will get to your questions, I promise. Step 5 is pricing. So once we know who we want to serve, how we want to serve them, the next thing is, okay, what are they willing to spend? So we have to take a gander at what other people are doing in this space. We have to figure out are our prices going to be aligned? And this is also going to be something that's very, very important for my POD sellers. Because what if you find a glass ornament that you love, but then it is like $30 and you see through here that all of these, I mean, there's some that are even going for $11.55. There's some that are going for $30, but they have a huge discount on them. All of these, though, if I'm not mistaken, let me confirm, there's only one that doesn't have a discount. So that tells me this niche needs a discount. That's automatically telling me that. All of these, except for 3, also allow returns. So again, if you're a POD seller, that might be something that will deter you because maybe you don't want to accept returns. But we can see that as a buyer, as a shopper. I can actively see that. Another thing that I can see down here is free shipping. So I am able as a buyer to make my purchase decisions, even if I'm doing it subconsciously. I am making decisions based on what I'm seeing. And you guys have to understand what they see, just like I'm showing you right now. What do they see and how is that going to impact their decision? So let's just zoom in a little bit. So what I'm going to see is the thumbnail first and foremost. That's where psychologically, philosophically, all of the above, that's where my eyes go first, right? So first and foremost, I'm going to see the thumbnail. You better make dang sure that your thumbnail is good. Number 2, I am also going to see the price. I'm not going to the title. My eyes do not go to the title. My eyes go to the price. If that were not the case, Etsy would not make the price a bigger font. Just human psychology. They're literally using human psychology against us to get us to buy more things, okay? Thumbnail first, price second, price, discount, sale, urgency, scarcity, blah, 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 2.5. Then I am also going to be looking at free shipping, even though it's kind of small. That's where my brain goes. Number 4. And last but not least, maybe number 4 instead of number 5, maybe we can flip-flop them, is the reviews. So if this person, for example, like I'll literally use this person by person. So this person is a 4.5, 1.6 thousand reviews. This person is a 4.8, let's just call it 1.6 thousand reviews. This person is the almost exact same price, but this person accepts returns. This person's sale ends in 4 hours. I'm going to click them. That is exactly how our brains work. And that is exactly how Etsy utilizes our human psychology to make us click on things. So if you can understand why a human a buyer, a shopper, a searcher would click on things. It's going to make your life so much easier to build out the listing. All right. Number 6 is photos. Again, same concept as before. We need to basically be better than all of them, or we at least need to do something that matches the aesthetic. So, what I don't want you guys to do, as you can see, these are all like very similar. There is like a muted background. I don't like this one, to be honest, myself, but that's just me. But there's a little bit of a muted background. This one has a hand in it, which I think doesn't make sense personally. But it's a bestseller, so who am I? And then we have, again, muted background. We have a couple of different examples. We have some text on screen. We have the photo of the dog, the photo of the cat, etc. So really getting an idea of what people are doing in your space, the hero image, the thumbnail image being the most important. And then we want to go through, oh, I forgot my photo. I am so sorry. Then we want to go through the best sellers and determine what the rest of their strategy is. Okay. So what I mean by that, we're going to share my screen again because I forgot to copy over my photos. I apologize. So let's just do popular now here, using this as an example. So this is the thumbnail that drew me in. Let's call it, I got here for some reason, right? Then I want to know what else did my competitors do through oh my God, that is so cute. See, I want to buy this now because look at Molly. Oh my God, so cute. Then we're going to go through and figure out, were there any questions that I had, or would I buy this? And the answer is no. Like, I for sure would buy this because like she is literally, he or she, they are giving me everything that I need to make an informed buyer's decision. Okay. So the next step is to figure out, what are they doing well? What are they doing that could use some improvement? What can I use in my own strategy? All right. And by the way, if you do not know what should go into that 10 photo sequence that I just showed you, that was really, really good, that would make me make a purchase, I actually just posted this YouTube full tutorial on Tuesday. So go to our YouTube channel after you get done watching this video, go to the videos section and find this photo. This is actually a 10-step process of exactly what could or should be in every single photo, including, of course, the hero and thumbnail image. So please, after this, make sure you go check that out if you do not know how to build out your 10-part sequence. Last but not least is your listing description. Okay. So we've gone through who we want to sell to, how we want to serve them, how we're going to design it, how we're going to reach them in the first place by doing the right SEO, blah, blah, blah. Now we're getting into the listing description itself. The listing description, in my opinion, again, only IMO. It is not Bible. It is not truth. It is not go forth and do this at all times, but it's the least important part. And I only say that because all of the other stuff got them to click into your listing. And now the listing description is just going to drive home the sale. So not that it's not important. It's super important, but it's less important than the things that we went over. That's why I put it as step 7. However, still very, very important because it helps you convert the listing. All of the other things we talked about help you click through to the listing. The listing description helps convert, which is the moneymaker, right? So we want to make the first 160 characters the most important piece of your listing description. You want to explain what the item is to a buyer and a search engine, who it is for, who it could be gifted to, etc. Then we want to think about any potential questions that a buyer might have about the item, shipping, how to take care of it, how to return it or exchange it if they want to, or if you don't even offer that, etc. Colors, attributes, stuff like that. Then you want to guide them through the process of purchasing the item, making it as easy as possible. I always use the analogy of that show, Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader? Assume no one is. Okay, so when you're making your listing description, think about how to make it as easy as physically possible for them to buy, especially if it's a personalized option, or especially if you have multiple different types. So like if you're doing a loss leader strategy where it is like you have a baby onesie and then like an extra large crew neck, like how do they choose? How do they get the right color? How do they guarantee this is going to be the best fit for them? Whatever, answer all of those questions. Then you can also add corresponding listing links to other things. So let's say you have the standard golden doodle stained glass ornament. But then you also have a personalized option. Maybe you have two different listings. You can literally say, want to see your dog's name on the ornament? Click here, something like that. So here's an example of a really, it's kind of small, I'm very sorry, but here's an example of a really, really good listing description that was directly related to the items that I was looking at today. So the stained glass approach. So he or she, they use the very first sentences, paragraph, whatever, to talk directly to who they want to sell to and what they're going to sell. So this is going to be metadata that Google is going to use to index them pretty much. Okay. What you'll receive, what are the features, how do you order it, how do you personalize it, how long is it going to take for it to get there, do you have any policies I need to be aware of, and then if there's anything wrong with it, how do I get in touch with you? This is a very, very good example of a perfect listing description. Okay. So with that said, that is all of the steps in one. I tried to go as fast as possible. I'm still at 11 freaking, this happens to me every time. I'm sorry. I just talk too much, I guess. But I do have 38 comments that I have not seen until now. So I'm going to dive into those real quick and answer y'all's questions for the last couple of minutes of this. All right. Let's see. Oh, y'all said OV, 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 OV. Fantastic. Oh, someone said they were seeing the wrong screen. Oh, I'm so sorry. I don't know what I was even doing that you guys didn't see that. I'm so sorry. I don't know what I was looking at. I'm so sorry. Okay, so it's okay to have a photo of a dog breed, but the person's dog name on it and it says a personalized product. It sounds weird to call it personalized or custom without having an actual photo of the dog. Okay. Yes. Okay. So if you don't have to use personalized does not equal a photo of something. So if we used the thing earlier that said Shiloh on it, for example, that was like the golden doodle AI generated image, Shiloh is the personalization feature. Established 2024 for new mom. That's the personalization feature. It doesn't have to have Leslie, new mom. It doesn't have to have my name for that to be personalized. Oh, thank you. Someone said the sneaky mistake, killing your Etsy shop video was great. I'm so glad. Someone also said that's what we learned in marketing. Never write ads, add copy at higher than a 5th grade reading level. That is so true. Very, very true. It's honestly smart because we are not only marketing to people with a normal sense of cognitive abilities. I have many friends with reading disabilities and they spend a lot of money. Very, very true. And also just keeping in mind, it doesn't even have to be like a disability or a cognition issue. It really is people just, I mean, you saw how many times people accidentally typed something in wrong and spelled it wrong. Like, it's an accident. I make mistakes all the time. I would be embarrassed if you guys went through my first draft of anything that I make because I can't spell. So just keeping that in mind, that you just want to make it as easy as physically possible for your buyer. This is so over everyone's heads right now, and I don't want to get too much into it, but if you ever have heard of the acronym UI UX when you're thinking about how to do website development, it literally means user interface and user experience. The goal is to make it as good of an experience as possible for them, and we want to do the exact same thing. All right. Someone said, our biggest issue is that many great keyword phrases don't fit into a single tag. Then when we split it into 2 tags, the keyword score either goes way down or it just says NA. So John, good point. That is only during the research phase. But Etsy, basically how their SEO, I don't want to say algorithm, but their process works is they scrub all of the words and phrases that you put into your tags, into your title, whatever. You put them into all those different places, and then Etsy in microseconds takes all of them and then makes multiple pairs of all of them. So even if you split it and the keyword score on EverBee looks like there's low search, that doesn't mean that that is a bad strategy, because the goal is to have Etsy basically be like, yep, pair, long tail, instead of individual keywords. So I hope that makes sense. I will go and look at your other video on the 10 photos, but is it okay to put in a general photo at the end with some images from the store to tempt them to go look at them? Yes. So that's actually on the video, sort of, is there was something that basically is about me, about shop, about our process, whatever. So by all means, you can have them go back to the shop. But I would make it even more enticing. Because first of all, if someone follows your lead, like you're actively telling them to leave that listing without making a purchase. Technically, even though you're not, but that's what it's looking like on our end as a buyer. So what if we say, BOGO, buy one, get one half off, whatever you want to do, where they're incentivized to buy this, but then also go look at the other things that you have to offer. That might be a better strategy. All right, the screen here we go. The screen we couldn't see was when you were in a listing and showing possible oh my God, that's very important. I'm so sorry. We're going to do that again together. Hold on. Let's see. I am so sorry because that is very important, because I was like, go find these things. It's awesome. And then you're like, I can't see them. So let's do it together. On any listing, I'm not going to go through the whole thing again, but I am going to show you where to find on any listing. I hope you guys can see this. I really hope. We're going to scroll all the way down to the bottom. And we're going to have it right here. Explore related searches. Oh my Christ. Hold on. It's mad at me. 1 second. Have you guys ever seen the movie Mrs. Robinson with Dustin Hoffman? Because I say, oh my Christ, like multiple times a day from that movie. Explore related searches. Explore more related searches. Okay. So I'm hoping you guys can see this, but that is absolutely where we can go for additional help for this strategy. All right. Leslie, I heard that if you list, I'm going to remove that. If you list on Etsy at least one listing every day, you have more visibility than when you post weekly a bunch of listings. What do you think? I'm not sure where you heard that, but there's literally nothing anywhere that says that, nor backwards. Etsy wants you to be active, and there is not a set number, nor is there a set strategy of which one works or doesn't work better. If you can post one a day, awesome. If you can do something like, if you want to wait until the end of the weekly just because it's good for you and you want to do multiple at one time, that's fine, but they want consistency. So maybe you do that every Friday, or maybe you do that Mondays and Wednesdays. But nonetheless, they just want consistency. They do not necessarily want you to batch and forget. Okay, hope that makes sense. Sweet. Okay, guys. Well, that is all the time we have for today. I hope you enjoyed my little trick or treat experience. I also love all the feedback that we got from today on maybe the order velocity concept. I might be able to dive a little bit deeper into that in the future. And I wanted to just quickly let you know, if you guys are here with me consistently on a weekly basis, next Friday is actually my 32nd birthday. So I am actually traveling to Denver with my husband next week to go celebrate. So we will not have Coffee with EverBee on November 7th. But when I come back on November 14th, I'm pretty sure, we are actually going to be doing another live Etsy shop audit. Okay. So make sure you are in the Facebook group so that you can put your Etsy shop in the hat if you would like me to do an audit for you. Again, that is 2 weeks from today. I will give you more than enough notice when I do that. But I will be out next Thursday. Okay. So with that said, I love all of you guys. I thank you all so much for being here. I hope you all have a happy Halloween. If you celebrate it, if you don't, also totally fine. But yeah, thank you guys also for the happy early birthday as well. And I will talk to you in 2 weeks. See you guys. Bye.